I gained 15 pounds in 60 days and went from 148 pounds to 165, and I'm still going. In that time, I've only actually put on like an extra 1.2, 1.3% body fat. I know it's probably genetics, but I'm here to teach you how, and I'm not a fitness expert or anything, so take my advice with a pinch of salt. I don't have anything to sell you as well, so you don't have to worry about whether there's going to be a course at the end of this. This is about why I finally started caring about something I've avoided for so many years of my life. I struggle to stay consistent here, and it's how I look. And I'm going to tell you why I think every man, especially young men in a major city, should do the same and start working on their appearance. The uncomfortable truth: looks matter. We'd be lying if we pretended that society doesn't treat good-looking people better. Like, if you wanted more income, if you wanted better relationship prospects with more attractive people, of course, and just people in general, if you want respect, if you want to make friends, if you want opportunities with people just based on your appearance and off first glance, looking good is probably one of the easiest ways to improve and get a leg up in society, especially when you start caring about how you present yourself. What's one of the easiest ways to look better? In my opinion, it's just going to the gym and getting in shape. Like, it doesn't take that much. You don't have to like get plastic surgery. You don't even have to do too much. But getting in shape is what I'm going to talk to you about today. I used to think that putting too much thought into my appearance was beneath me. Like, I would care, but only enough to, I guess, like, just not be called rough and raggedy or ugly or whatever. That was it. I never spent time like crafting a wardrobe or buying certain fits because I thought that they would be like, they would gather so much attention in a room. Like, that wasn't how I approached things. But I've learned to think otherwise, right? I'd be like a functional aesthetics guy. I'd wear cargos. I'd wear like just straight black, gray, whatever. That was just it for me. But when I started thinking about it, like, especially when I started writing this post, I realized that insecurity was at the heart of all of this. Like, my whole thing was, if it was out of sight, it's out of mind, you know? And in the end, I thought it was like, honestly, it was so dumb. Turns out, like, the world doesn't reward us or reward me for not being someone who cares about my appearance. It doesn't reward us if we think we're above vanity. This is just not how it works. Like, I'm aware this piece that I'm writing here or talking about might sound a little Machiavellian, but honestly, I couldn't give a shit, because at the end of the day, I write for a younger version of myself, someone who could have been more confident, someone who could have even been more successful today, and probably not have been in my position if they avoided some of the things that I essentially did. So when I look at this and look at looks and improving appearance, I think about self-improvement. I don't think it's a selfish thing. I think it's actually the opposite. It's empowering. When you're physically healthier, mentally sharper, and more confident, you show up better for the people around you and yourself. It feels like you're prepared for difficult things and anything that could happen, or opportunities in themselves. The people who say looks don't matter are either lying or they're losing. And I would know, because I've been one of them. So, why I avoided this? It starts with a lack of disposable income in my house as a child. Like, getting a good education was more important than the aesthetics in life. If anyone who is watching this has grown up in like a Caribbean or Caribbean household, if you're familiar with that term, like, getting a good education was very important. Especially, like, looks is good, but get your books sorted out, get smart. That was it. Get a good job and you can pay for all of that stuff. So guess what I did? Well, I tried. I dropped out of university twice, so that didn't really work. But I really took the whole getting an education and being smart thing a little too far, I guess. I genuinely, even when I had money, I never really optimized my appearance so much as I am now today. But yeah, I spent my youth maximizing variables that I felt were more in my control, like sports, learning to design, playing instruments, even playing with video games. Like if I thought life was a video game, when you look at like your matrix for how your skills are distributed, mine would show underdeveloped in areas relating to like social things. Maybe not so much charisma, because I'm not like uncharismatic or anything. I'm not awkward like that. But I know that when it comes to appearance, I could probably do so much better. And there's so many easy wins to be had here. So yeah, I focused on skills that I thought were what mattered. Like I focused on business, building up my business acumen, my work ethic, making sure I'm capable of doing hard things. I even focused on the littlest things, like working on how I communicate with people, which is great because it helps me record videos like this and feel comfortable in front of camera. But at the same time, if I was mute, who's checking for me? If I'm not speaking, who's checking for me? And these things are important. Here's what I learned. The world doesn't reward you for being above vanity. It actually rewards you for playing the game well. I know I've repeated the world and vanity, but it really does reward you for playing this game of life, especially when you play the social games, because that's really what we do, especially while we're younger and earlier in our career. Rejecting this game does not make us principled. It makes you invisible, if anything. And you can have all the skills in the world, but if you don't look great, people won't respect you. And if you don't respect yourself, who will? The New York reset. A New York 7 is like a 10 in any other place you've been to. Now, moving to a melting pot of the world's most attractive people hard resets how you see beauty. The not so hidden truth is looks and status are what wins in a market like New York. Let's say you're in Los Angeles, even Florida, Miami, whatever. There are so many other places like this. But when you're in a major city, these are the things you want to optimize for and improve on. Knowledge isn't actually in scarce supply. Intelligence helps, but few will win off intelligence alone. Unless you're a savant, you're not winning off it. Like, this is not San Francisco. Cities are laboratories for human competition. Everyone's optimizing. Everyone's signaling. The people who pretend they're not playing are still playing. They're just losing while feeling superior about it. Like, that's just it. I was one of these people. I never really lost because, I'm me. Like, I could have done better in so many things or at so many things, yeah. I had a choice when I moved here, though. It was adapt or cope. Adaptation means acknowledging reality. Cope means pretending reality doesn't exist while wondering why nothing works. So I decided to stop pretending that this doesn't matter and actually do something about it. I got good luck. I started going to the gym, my boy. I'm, pumping iron. And that's what I did. So here's what changed. At 29, starting over in New York, working 50 hours and more a week in a coffee shop, everything felt uncertain. Career, unclear. Next move, unknown. But the gym, right? The gym is something I control. At the end of the day, it's all me. I made it a non-negotiable. I go 4 to 5 times per week and under an hour per session. There's no excuses. It's not because I suddenly loved working out. I actually don't like it that much. But it's because I needed something to win at while life started feeling chaotic, and control was something that I just didn't have a grip of in anything it felt. I actually think control is underrated. Now, when your career is uncertain, your next move is unclear. When you're doing crazy overtime, the gym is one place where your effort actually equals a result. You can't cheat yourself here unless you take roids, of course, but I don't. Yeah. It's just, did you show up and do the work? Like, it's that simple. I'm really teaching my system. I'm somewhere between an ecto and mesomorph. So treat this as, figure this out for your body type. But generally, if you're similar to me, you gain lean muscle quite easily, and you can also lose lean muscle quite easily. But here's what I'm going to tell you, and here's how I managed to maintain this stuff, right? There are three key drivers. The first one is diet, the second one, weight training, and the third one, recovery. Now, when it comes to diet, I keep it simple. You have to eat more than you burn. So I find my BMR, basal metabolic rate, if it's the minimum amount of calories that your body needs to just function and not lose weight, right? I added 500 calories on top of that, just factoring in work and anything that comes in between. And then I added another 500 just for surplus. So I make sure that I'm always over my caloric, I'm over whatever I will burn just doing day-to-day stuff. Then I aim to have about a gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if I'm 165, roughly I'm aiming for about 165 in grams. But it doesn't have to be 1-to-1. Anything within the realm of, say, like 145 up is going to be fine for the most part. I eat 3 meals at least. Right now I'm going to have to go up to 4 meals, but soon I'm going to have to go up to 4 meals, sorry. But yeah, 3 meals, and salad is not a meal. I'm so sorry. I love salad as well, but like, it's just not a meal. You need carbs, you need protein, you need fiber. These like some of the, yeah, you just need them. I also have 1 mass gainer shake per day. Sometimes I have 2 if I've skipped a meal, and this equals about 3,000 plus calories and at least 150 grams of protein. I don't track aggressively. I don't calorie count. I just think that's just too, yeah, it's not for me. My whole thing is get enough of the calories you need in and figure out, like, for most people, honestly, just 3 meals and a shake is more than fine. 3, square meals is fine. I also weigh myself every night. And if I'm under, I increase my intake the next day. If I'm gaining, great. I keep doing what I need to do and show up. It's that simple. Second one, training. Probably why everyone's here if you're still here. Progressive overload is how I do things. I do push, pull, leg, split. Now, 4 to 5 times a week, as mentioned. Each session is under an hour. I do 3 to 4 sets per exercise. And if you hit 10 reps, add weight. If you can't hit 8 reps, sorry. If you can't hit 8 reps, drop the weight. It's straightforward, right? Each week I try and push more weight. So each week I try and increase the weight that I do. And that's pretty much my method. I've been gaining weight. I've been gaining muscle, lean muscle. It's all right. Recovery. Now, admittedly, I probably undersleep most days, so this isn't ideal, but I do live a low energy life outside of my work life and my gym routine. So it's probably helpful to me. I'm usually in a restful state. Daily protein intake helps with recovery a lot. So if you're hitting your protein goals, you're going to recover faster. I also think if you take creatine, you are in a better position to recover. Depends on how much creatine you want. I think my sweet spot's about 6 to 8 grams. Yeah, I tried 10 a few times, but it just gives me palpitations because I'm dehydrated. And you want to focus on consistency over perfection when it comes to like sleep recovery and everything else. Do I have days where I miss meals and I'm not consistent in the gym? Absolutely. Like, I don't go to the gym as often as I probably want to, but I don't beat myself up about this sort of stuff. I continue the next day as normal and keep it moving. It's just that. Consistency over a long time horizon is more important than like achieving like a good gym routine for 2 weeks and then falling off. You want to play a long game here. And that's how I approach the gym. I do something that I think is manageable and something that's repeatable over a long time horizon. Gaining 15 pounds aren't the point of this post. There's so much more to gain from just signing up to the gym, eating well consistently, than adding a little bit of weight. Here's what I gained. There's a confidence shift. People respond differently. Not because I suddenly became someone else, but because I started carrying myself like someone who gives a shit, and I felt the world opened up to me. Energy. Turns out when you're physically stronger, everything else requires less effort. The mental work, the emotional regulation, and handling setbacks. I think these last 3 points are so important here, so I'm going to circle back. Life is much easier when you do hard things. It sounds paradoxical, But the hard things and the fact that you're acclimated to doing hard things every single day you push yourself, or every other day you push yourself to failure in many, many scenarios at the gym, life gets a little easier. The hard things in life just becomes, you can roll it off. It's kind of like when you've got momentum at work or in like a game you're playing. It's easy to deal with failure, or it's easy to deal with other things that are difficult because you're just so prepared for it, right? Discipline actually compounds. Like, the mechanism that gets you at the gym at 5 a.m., if that's you, starts applying in other areas. Like, you stop negotiating with yourself about everything. You just do things. You're a person who has tasks and you do them. Like, it almost becomes part of your identity. For me, I just do things. I do hard things, and I like knowing that that's who I am and how I turn up for myself and who I am in the world. Control. When nothing else is certain, this is. You can't control the job market. Shit, I know. You can't control who gives you a shot. You really can't. But you can't control whether you showed up today. You can control whether you took your ass in the gym. It's essentially a battle of you versus you. Nobody else gets in the way of that. Unless the gym's closed, and even then, like, is there another one? Can you figure out how to get a workout in? My reality is people treat me different now that I look a little bigger. I hold my head up a little higher. And honestly, it's great. First impressions change. Social dynamics shift. Professional interactions improve. People don't look at me like I'm a victim. It's great. And in a city where everyone's optimizing, showing up looking like you take yourself seriously is a tax you just can't afford here. The real cost. I'm not telling you to become a bodybuilder. I don't even want you to try and live like me. I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder. I'm just trying to look good. I'm telling you to not handicap yourself while everyone else is playing this game, these social games. You want to be aware and you want to be cognizant. You want to play to your strengths, but you also want to do something that you know is going to improve your appearance and allow you to turn up every day. I'm still figuring out my career. I'm still hunting for opportunities day in, day out. I've even got like a log now of how lucky I get on a day-to-day basis. I'm trying to measure luck. Things are still uncertain about what's next. But at least when I look in the mirror, I see someone who has taken themselves seriously and they turn up to themselves. They turn up each day for themselves. The gym is not the goal. It's the proof. It's proof that when everything is uncertain, you can still show up for yourself and you can still grow. You can still have something in life that's yours. Proof that you're not waiting for permission to become the person who you need to be at the end of the day. In a city where everyone's competing, that's not vanity. It's just being smart and playing the game. It's survival. I hope this video has resonated or has helped somebody else, you know, just consider their or reconsider their position in life and what they're doing about the situation. For me, I wish I had something like this. I wish I just thought about these things way earlier in my life. And at the end of the day, I'm 29. I'm not like 45. I can still do this. Even at 45, you can still improve and you can still turn up for yourself. Doesn't matter what the age you are. But if you're young, you really can't afford to not take advantage of this sort of stuff now. I'd love to know what you guys are working on and how you guys turn up for yourself each day. Please like, subscribe if you thought this was great. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Take care.